See how this works this week. Am I in there? Okay. So Shalom, this is the shiur before Tisha B'Av. And okay, so the halachot this year are easier because we don't have Shavua Shechal. According to most poskim, we don't have the week of Tisha B'Av. Although there is a question if there is such a thing, because it's on Shabbat. So this week that we are in, would be Shavua Shechal, and therefore you can't shave, you can't do laundry, you can't wear washed clothes, you can't take a shower, all that. But this year, according to many poskim, it's not. We don't have a Shavua Shechal, so therefore all these things are allowed. Shaving, Bet Yosef brings down that the Zekenim, the elders, would tell people that not to shave on Friday before Tisha B'Av. You don't want to walk into Tisha B'Av looking like a chatan, all shaved up and everything. And if a person wants to be machmir not to shave at all during the 3 weeks or during the 9 days or whatnot, better. Why not? It's the Bet HaMikdash that we are crying about. But halachically, you can't tell people that it's asur. Halachically, you can't. So that's as far as Shalom. So that is as far as Shavua Shechal, that it's not. That means that this week we could do laundry, this week we could still take a shower, and shave, and what else? What else is there? All these things. Now, eating meat, though, this week is asur. A woman who is pregnant or nursing and she feels she has to eat meat, she could eat meat. Right? It's a midrabanan, it's a minhag, and Chachamim were never made a decree for people that are weak or sick. Or if a child is like 3 years old, 2 years old, doesn't understand what chorban is, can't eat meat. Kids don't mind not eating meat, but you want to make sure they stay healthy. Then you give them meat. But as the children grow, you want them to understand what avelut for the Bet HaMikdash is. And they understand, in the 9 days we don't eat meat. Drinking wine, it depends on the community. Some communities don't drink wine, some communities drink wine. It really depends. It's a zecher. One of the reasons that we don't drink wine is because in the Bet HaMikdash, whenever they would bring the offerings, they would pour wine as a libation for the offering. And now we don't have the Bet HaMikdash. We're missing that. As such, we don't drink wine. That's the reason. When it comes to Havdalah, last Motzei Shabbat, making Havdalah, it's Sephardim, they make Havdalah on wine, grape juice, whatever you want. No holding back. Okay, so as we said, this year, because it falls on Shabbat, there is more leniencies than other years. Ladies who are pregnant or they're nursing, right? Even though on a regular year they have to fast. And this year, right, because it's on Shabbat and it gets pushed off to Sunday, they are exempt, but they definitely and certainly should try to see if they can at least start as much as they can. And when they feel like, they're not feeling well, they feel like they need to eat, they could go ahead and eat. Pregnant means after 3 months, but even before the 3 months of even during the first trimester of pregnancy, if they feel they're not feeling well, for sure they're no less than a chole she'en bo sakana, and they should eat, drink. Okay. Nursing, Ovadia writes, as long as they're nursing, it's not really up to 2 years, it's not the 2 years. As long as they're nursing and they feel like it's needed for the baby, then they could eat. Even past that, during the first 2 years, it says in the Gemara that birth has a big effect on a person's physicality, and therefore the person is really weak. But if a person feels fine, like a year after the birth, a year and a half after the birth, it's not 2 years yet, but if they feel fine fasting, Ovadia writes they should. If they feel strong enough to fast, then they could go ahead and fast. But besides that, anyone who is not feeling well, chole she'en bo sakana. Chole she'en bo sakana means someone that is not well, is so weak that has to lay down in the bed. that's a chole she'en bo sakana. Doesn't have that strength. Again, that person also, should eat, and more so for sure. Chole she'yesh bo sakana. There is no question that they have to eat. Someone asked me, like, they did surgery 2 weeks ago. Should they fast? I'm like, what's the question? Just this surgery, they opened up his stomach and everything. He has a question to fast or not? Doesn't make sense. Okay, children should not fast, right? Should not fast at all, unless they're right before their bar mitzvah. Then we say, for training purposes, the one before their bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, then we say they should fast. Otherwise, these days, children are weak, and it's not something to be played with. They want to show that they're macho, that they're fasting. Parents should be on top of them and make sure that they eat. Okay. Now, there's a question, by the way, about Seudah Revi'it, Melava Malka. For those who are not fasting, should they eat Melava Malka or not? You follow? So Rabbi said no, they shouldn't eat Melava Malka. They should just eat something, whatever, but not if they need to, but otherwise, no Melava Malka.
Wait, we're eating the Seudah for...
We're going to get to that right now. We'll go step by step.
You mentioned Melava Malka.
I know, I just jumped. I don't know, we're talking about people that are eating, that are able to eat, so that's why we mentioned that. Okay, so by the way, remember, although this week we could wear laundered clothes and we could do laundry, Sunday you can't do laundry or wear laundered clothes. So make sure you have enough clothing for Sunday. Shabbat is Shabbat, no question about Shabbat. But for Sunday, people forget. They say, hey, we could do laundry, no problem. But don't forget, Sunday is Tisha B'Av. On Sunday itself, we cannot. So make sure, whatever we do every year, before, let's say today, tonight, tomorrow, to wear whatever articles of clothes that we need for Sunday, whatever half hour, or as Rabbi Heinemann says, you could even throw it on the ground, that you could do even on Sunday and step on it a little bit so it's not fresh, and then you could wear it. But whatever it is, try to take care of it this week rather than next week.
The minimum time is half an hour?
Yeah, about a half hour. Yeah. Person could do that. If you forgot to do it, you could do it. Yeah.
Kids?
Does it apply to kids?
To make, of course, to train them. Kids, I mean, not little kids.
Like a 4-year-old?
4-year-old, no. Older kids for sure. Like 8, 9. They reach the age of chinuch. Of course, they understand what it is, and we're training them. Be'ezrat Hashem, they won't need to. Mashiach should come. We won't need to. But as of now, this is where we stand. So on Shabbat this year, it's Tisha B'Av. Right? But being that it's Shabbat, it's asur to mourn on Shabbat. So therefore, a person does not do anything of mourning on Shabbat. Although it is Tisha B'Av itself, but nothing. We're not allowed to do anything. Ashkenazim, some of them say that things that are not in public, a person should do this coming Shabbat. But certainly according to Maran Shulchan Aruch, nothing. We don't do anything of mourning. This Shabbat, everything regular. The tefillot are regular, singing, everything is regular. We don't even, Tisha B'Av is the fast that we don't announce on Shabbat, because it's known that it's exactly 3 weeks after Shiva Asar Tammuz. But Sephardim, we announced Shiva Asar Tammuz and Asara B'Tefet, the Shabbat before that this Ta'anit is coming up. Tisha B'Av doesn't need an announcement, so we don't do it. Now, what's that?
Sorry, you shouldn't read about the Korban or read anything about it, learn about it.
Now, let's listen to this. Erev Tisha B'Av, there is a question if the person is allowed to, on Tisha B'Av itself, we can't learn Torah, because Torah brings joy and happiness. Only things that have to do with Tisha B'Av, with the Churban, the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, with Sefer Iyov talks about the Yisurim that he had, Sefer Echa that Yirmiyah Navi wrote it based on the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, or parts of the Midrashim that deal with the destruction and all that. Art Scroll made the book Tisha B'Av just for this, it's It's amazing writing. It's really good. It's very helpful. These things are allowed on Tisha B'Av. Other things aren't. Some say that eve of Tisha B'Av, that means the day before Tisha B'Av, past Chatzot, the same rules apply. That a person shouldn't learn Torah, because Torah brings joy and happiness. Now, what about this year? That Shabbat is the day before. Is one allowed to do that or not? Nobody writes. If a person is feels pressured, he wants to learn Torah, let him learn Torah. But he says, there's a lot of things that a person could do. Ashkenazim are more machmir on this. That they don't after Chatzot, after midday of the day before Tisha B'Av, they only learn things that are allowed on Tisha B'Av. So if a person, look, as far as your question, can one on Shabbat afternoon learn things that have to do with Tisha B'Av? Definitely you could. Definitely a person could do that. But at the end of the day, if a person wants to learn something, or learn Halachot Shabbat, I don't know, you want to learn something, for us Sephardim, it is fine. One thing for sure, on Tisha B'Av, a person should not go for a tiyul, for a walk, to enjoy, for enjoyment. So even when it's Shabbat, like this Shabbat, it's a good thing not to be walking around on the streets on that day, on Shabbat. If you don't, it doesn't show that you're mourning. So, and for sure, it's not a good day to be hanging out there.
What about to take out the kids?
Yeah, that's for sure. We're talking about going for a walk, going to the park. And is that what you meant?
But if they want to get out of the house,
Yeah. If they really,
then later.
they're under a lot of pressure in the house, then for sure you could take them out. Yeah. We're talking about adults. They want to go, take a walk, go to the park, enjoy. Okay. On Tisha B'Av, we don't say tachanun. Tisha B'Av is a mu'ed. The Navi calls it a mu'ed. So therefore, we don't say vidu, we don't say tachanun, tefillah. Therefore, as you may know, on Shabbat, after, towards the end of Mincha, there is a portion called tzidkatcha. That is only said when we would say tachanun if today would have been chol, would have been a weekday. So this Mincha, this coming Shabbat Mincha afternoon, we do not say tzidkatcha. Okay, that's for those who usually say Mincha on Shabbat. Let's get to Seudah Shilishit. Seudah Shilishit, it is better to start earlier. That's why most shuls should schedule Mincha a little bit earlier so that people could come home and eat Seudah earlier because you want to finish earlier. We have an oxymoron here. It's an interesting thing. The fast begins by sunset. Shabbat is still going on until 45 minutes after sunset? So they're overlapping each other. What are you going to do? What time is Shakira? I think it's 5 minutes to 8, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
7:59 the fast starts.
7:59? Are you sure? I think sunset.
I couldn't remember. 8:45 regular Shabbat.
8:45. That's. So what time is sunset? Do you have any idea? I think, if I'm not mistaken, if someone could go on my Zimani or something, I think it's 7:55, if I'm not mistaken.
She just looked there.
Yeah, well, what time is it?
It says 7:59.
7:59 is sunset on
Oh,
Shabbat?
no, sorry, no, that's Tisha B'Av.
Tisha, on Shabbat shouldn't be that far.
7:42.
No,
That's candle.
7:42 is candle lighting. So yeah, 59.
18.
Okay, all right. So I take that back, 7:59. So up to 7:59, obviously nobody's gonna look at his watch and eat until 7:59. We're talking about a little earlier. So
Have to brush our teeth also.
correct.
On Shabbat.
Correct.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna get to that. So first of all, there's always that question: can we eat meat in Seudah Shilishit? Obviously, yes. The halacha is like it says in the Gemara. Ochel Adam Seudah Shlomo b'sha'ato. You could eat whatever you want in Seudah Shilishit. But obviously, we're talking about a person shouldn't indulge themselves. Oh yeah, fast is coming. Let me just pack it in. Whatever a person needs to be strong enough to be able to fast, that's good. If a person wants to eat meat, they could. But if Someone never ever eats meat because they want to eat pizza tonight. And hey, guess what? Tonight we're not going to be able to have pizza because it's a fast day. So let's eat meat now. Then
I do that.
then fine. If you would eat meat regularly on
No, I
Sudashi
don't eat meat because I.
because of the pizza.
Yeah.
Or, then you could eat. Really, you know.
So Suda Shishi is considered the
Seudah
Suda
mafseket.
Mafseket.
Correct. Yes, that is Seudah mafseket. So therefore, it's not like every year Seudah mafseket you could only eat one cooked meal, like an egg with bread, and that's it. You have to sit on the floor. You can't eat together, so you can have zimun. There's all these halachot. Here, chas v'shalom, we can't do any of that on Shabbat. Sit together and eat whatever you want, and you could have a zimun and all that, and singing, all of that, of course. Everyone sits together. They say divrei Torah together, and if there are 3 people eating bread, they have zimun. Yeah, and you could even drink wine.
But it's possible that someone is still flesh.
If you're flesh, you
From
mean
lunch.
so they don't want to have, they can't have dairy,
Right.
right? So they want to
that's
have
also
meat.
carb.
Yeah. What do
I
these
mean,
people usually eat on Seudah Shlishi other weeks? They eat fish,
Right.
tuna fish and whatever. You could do the same thing. Again,
It's gonna make you thirsty and
fish.
What if you want to eat meat?
Eat black grapes. You won't be thirsty. Really?
You can't eat meat if you don't
Black
usually eat
grapes.
meat.
No. Some say that. Some say if you don't usually eat meat, Seudah Shlishi, then don't eat meat. But others say no.
So
you
it's
could.
okay, you
It's
can.
okay.
Okay.
Halachically, we're saying that it's okay. Right?
What if you want to break the fast? Can you have meat
On Tisha B'Av.
after? Yes.
when you want to break the fast.
Oh, we get to it. We're not there yet.
Oh,
On Sunday
that's a
night,
question.
we're just beginning. Now we do say, by the way, if a person didn't get a chance to say Birkat Hamazon, and time passed, and it's already Tisha B'Av, it's already Tzedek Kochavim. Let's say it's 9:00, and they want to say Birkat Hamazon. Should they do Mayim Achronim?
Yeah, it's a little bit, right?
Mayim Achronim they should do, and they still say Retzeva Acharitzim. They still say Shabbatim because the meal was a Shabbat meal, and therefore one could go ahead and do that. Now, so we have to stop eating a couple of minutes at least before sunset, right? So 8:59 we said. So I don't know
Seven.
the 7:59. So by 7:50, 7:45 they should stop, and try to clean their teeth, either with a toothpick and toothbrush. If they know for sure it's not going to bleed, then use toothbrush on Shabbat.
What about floss?
Floss also, if you know for sure it's not. If it's going to bleed, that's fine, because that's not your kavanah to make it bleed. We said before. But if you know for sure it's going to bleed, then it's a little bit problematic. So you can do it softly, as much as you can. Try not to allow it to get because you don't want the remnants of the food between your teeth. Suddenly they're going to pop up on Shabbat, and then we are in trouble.
What do we do about toothpaste then? I know you're allowed to.
You
But
missed it.
I missed it.
That's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
You need to have a separate toothbrush, right?
Yeah.
And you can't rinse it off.
We didn't say that.
I missed that.
Tell us, we all missed it.
No, so.
This is
What
what
would be the
Rabbi
reason?
Takian said. You have to have a separate toothbrush and you can't
What would
rinse
be
it
the
off.
reason to have a separate?
And you can't
This shows for
rub
Shabbat
the
is different.
toothpaste.
It's fine. It's all good.
You're not
It's all
preparing.
good.
You just can't rinse it off.
One question for the floss. Do you have
Unless
to?
you want to do use it again on Shabbat, so you can rinse it off.
So at night you can rinse it off for the next morning?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no question about that.
So,
Yes, I'm sorry.
For the floss, you could rip it on Shabbat.
No.
Or do that beforehand.
Right.
Okay.
That's because he's gonna be making a keli, and we don't. Right.
Okay.
Because of that.
That's the beauty of it,
So that's a flossing or a toothpick, whatever it is. A person should try to do all of that because once it's shekia, we can't wash. We can't wash our mouth. It's already there. Now there's another thing that we have to pay attention to. That's hachana, preparing from Shabbat to Chol. Okay. Now, a person says, you know what, kids, you gotta drink a lot because the fast is starting. You know, you can't do it. Anyhow, it's not gonna help. A person drinks a lot, it's just gonna go out. So that didn't help him. As we said before, everyone says like, you know, you gotta drink a couple of days before, let it get absorbed to the body, and everything. Like, you know, just you gotta mention to each other, drink a lot. Don't say that drink a lot so that you could fast. That would be saying it. It's like hachana, like, you know, from Shabbat to Chol. What else? A person should be careful not to prepare anything from Shabbat for Chol. Therefore, like, you know, in Shul, they want to set up the chairs, like, you know, for everyone to sit on the floor, or they prepare the candles and this and that. They have to be very careful not to do it early. They have to wait until Shabbat is over. And this is something we all have to remember, to say Baruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh L'Chol. We all have to remember to say that when the time is right, so that it won't cause us trouble.
But there's no Havdalah.
How are you going to make Havdalah?
You don't even say the Havdalah?
You say Baruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh
That's
L'Chol.
it.
That's it. That is what will allow you. And then also in Shemon Esrei we say Atachon Antanu. We gotta make sure. I'm sorry?
You want to candle?
Candle we do.
I
That's
say
the only thing we do.
You just say the bracha
If you
Borei
miss the
Morei
candle-
Ha'esh,
Right. Light the Havdalah candle, say Borei Morei Ha'esh.
and that's it.
Right. That's it. In Shul also they do it. At home also
Why
ladies.
no besami?
No besamim, because it's a hana'ah. It's a pleasure. And that's the only reason why the takana of the besamim is for Havdalah. Tisha B'Av is not the time. And if a person, okay, so that besamim is completely out for Havdalah. Borei Morei Ha'esh, you have the whole night to say it. Once it's Sunday morning, we miss Borei Morei Ha'esh. That's the only time that we could do it. And now, the only thing that remains is shoes. What do you do with shoes? You cannot wear leather shoes on Tisha B'Av. If you're wearing your Shabbat shoes and they're made out of leather, so then what are you going to do? Take them off now, you're preparing from Shabbat to Chol. That's always the thing. So Rav Metzion says the best idea. It's so simple. When you're home eating Seudah Shlishi, you don't need your shoes on. You can put your slippers on. Then that's it. Take them off then. You're not doing it for the Tanit, you're doing it for staying home, walking around at home. And then that's it.
When you put your shoes back on, you're putting those on dafka because after you're gonna need your shoes back.
What shoes back on?
The slippers, you're putting on the slippers.
To go for Arby.
That's fine.
Let's say men are going for RVs.
Yeah.
They're putting on the other shoes.
They're not. That's not really achana. You didn't take off the Shabbat shoes and now wear the Crocs or slippers or whatever it is. You just this is what the shoes I'm wearing now. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. The only so now, if someone forgot, if someone was with his Shabbat shoes, he could still stay with his Shabbat shoes. He should, because otherwise it would be hachana. He's preparing for Chol, right? You should still wear them until right before Arvit and then take it off. So, or Shabbat is over, you know, they're gonna make, hopefully, I think, Arvit later so that people will make it. Like, you know, we'll make it, give them enough time to be able to change their clothes and be able to make it for Arvit. Usually they drag it, so they'll, yes.
Husband and wife on Shabbat should still conduct themselves as nida because it's Tisha.
No. We said none of these inuyim. That would be a sign of mourning. No, we don't. We don't do that on Shabbat. Now, another thing that is extremely important is what are we gonna do with our dishes? Dishes from Shabbat. So first of all, you want to clear the table on Seudah Shlishit. If you want to do it, you could do it before Birkat Hamazon. If you want the table to look nice and everything, that's fine, you know. But then after Birkat Hamazon, again, you're preparing for Chol. Once you say Birkat Hamazon and it's still Shabbat is not over yet, then what would you do? You clear the table. Who are you clearing it for? It's still Shabbat, so a person can't do that unless it's like food that's going to go bad. Then we said that one is allowed to put it in the fridge. When we talk about avelut, there are certain things that you just don't do anything. There are certain things that you gotta get up and do something. So like this, the time between sunset and Tzet HaKochavim, where the stars come out, that is called, is that time still today, or is it night already? That's Safek Yom, Safek Laila. That's why on Shabbat, as soon as the sun sets, we don't start doing melachot, because hey, what if this time is still Shabbat? Right? That's the whole idea. It's called Ben Shemashot, and therefore on the one hand, as we said, you can't show signs of mourning and avelut, and on the other hand, it's the fast. So as far as washing, eating, drinking, we stop. That's sheva ta'aseh. We don't do, right? But as far as taking off the shoes, right? That's bekum ba'aseh. You got to get up and proactively do something. That we say hold back. Don't do that. Don't do anything. But as we said, the advice was to just do it before, and therefore that would be fine.
Wait, so the dishes are in the sink from Friday night until Sunday night.
Very good. No, wait. Now, what about the dishes? If the dishes are, you're going to need them on Sunday for the children, to feed them in, then you could wash them. If the dishes are not needed, but it's going to stink up the place, also you could wash them. Unless you put water in them and it's just going to cover it up, until Sunday night, then it's good. Some say you could wash them after Chatzot on Sunday afternoon. Some say you could even do it before Chatzot. Some say you could wear gloves. If you wear gloves, that's fine because no water is going to come on you. But then it depends. If the glove has these things inside, this powder, then you want to wash your hands from the powder. Then what do? You're washing your hands on Tisha B'Av anyway, so it defeats the purpose. So you got to see what it is like. What's the best thing to do? If a person could do it so that without getting the hands wet on Sunday afternoon, that would be best. But again, if it's summer, it's hot, and it might smell up the kitchen, then you could even do it on Motzei Shabbat.
So let's say you're using
Without
the
getting your
dishwasher.
hands. What's that?
Let's say you're using the dishwasher, and anyway, on Shabbat, when you put the dirty dishes away, you put them into the dishwasher. You're allowed to turn on the dishwasher, no?
That's nothing.
You're
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to put the dishes on Shabbat in the dishwasher.
Why is that?
There's no
You can't prepare unless you're worried about
Missed
ants.
that.
No, I didn't. We discussed it so many times.
Best.
Unless you're worried about ants or it
Right.
smelling,
Right.
then you can't do it.
Or if that's how you put it away, no?
Putting it away, we said. If it's going
If
to
you
make
want it
your
out of
life
the way.
easier on Motzei Shabbat, then that's achana.
Right.
But if that's normally the way you do it, you usually just put it straight into the dishwasher, and you don't say, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it, so then I will have less work to do on Motzei Shabbat." Then that's fine. But if you usually have a station, you have it in the sink, because most people, they would like to wash their dishes. I don't know, they like to do double work. They wash the dishes and then they put it in the dishwasher. If
rinse it off.
right.
Rinse off the food residue.
Once you're rinsing it off, wash it already. I don't get that, but okay. They like to
Because it
do
doesn't
it.
come
It's
off.
exciting.
That's why.
Fine. No. I didn't say anything. So then, in that case, that's fine, right? That wouldn't be anyway. They have to put it in the sink. They're not going to put it in the dishwasher. Then you can't put it in the dishwasher,
What if you usually don't use the dishwasher?
right?
So can you still put it in the dishwasher?
No, then that's very that's really showing that I'm doing hachana. No,
What's hachana meaning?
hachana means preparation from Shabbat to Chol. But again, if you don't say anything and you're just gonna just put them directly there, then that should be fine. Okay, is that good?
So if you don't rinse it and you just put it directly there.
Then what are you gonna do? What's the Shabbat? You're gonna take it out and rinse it and put it
No,
back in?
so I'm saying, so if you don't rinse it and you put it directly there, then that's okay.
Yeah. That should be fine. That should be fine. Okay, so that's as far as washing the dishes. Use paper everything on Shabbat. That'll take care of a lot of the issues. Now, Arvit, if a person could go to this to the Beit Knesset, it's even better. Why? Because you feel the avelut, and everything. If a person could go, because the halakha is that in the synagogue usually they should turn the lights down, to feel, and they remove the parochet, they open the parochet. There's no parochet as a sign of avelut, as a sign of mourning, and so on and so forth. And in the tefillah, though, you have to know what's added. We add in the beracha of V'tishko b'toch Yerushalayim. We add a segment on Arvit Shacharit HaMincha of Nachem Hashem et Avalet Zion. The end of the beracha is not Baruch Atah Hashem Bonei Yerushalayim. It's Baruch Atah Hashem Menachem Tzion B'Binyan Yerushalayim. That Hashem gives us, consoles us with the rebuilding of Yerushalayim. And those who are fasting, they say Anenu, and we also add Anenu in the Beracha of Shema Kolenu, and we also add Atachonantanu in the Beracha of Atachonen. That is our Havdalah. Good. There is a question. If a person forgets to say Ata Chonantanu in the Tefillah of Arvit, what happens? What should they do? Other times we say, okay, you didn't say Ata Chonantanu, no big deal. You're going to make Havdalah at home when you get home, and that's fine. But here, you're not going to make Havdalah, right? So some say, be very careful. As soon as you finish Arvit, say Baruch Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol. This way, it's going to get you out of all the machloket, right? Because otherwise, if a person forgot, some say you have to repeat Arvit again with saying Atachonantanu. It's trouble. It's trouble. So therefore, that's what a person should do. Just make sure to say. It's important this week to say Baruch Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol on the thing. On Moshe Shabbat, on the night of Tisha B'Av, we say the Megillah of Eicha. It's best if you have a translation and read from it. That would be the best thing. The best thing to do. Now, at night, as we said, you make a beracha of Borei Meoreh Ha'esh before you start using lights. Now,
I would turn it off, just like.
what do you mean? Oh, you mean because we don't have the wine and everything? Just go like this? Yeah. Ladies who don't usually pray Arvit, what should they do? They shouldn't do melacha and everything else, right, until they say Baruch Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol, because there is no Havdalah. We don't do besamim, we don't do Havdalah, and we don't do. What are we going to do? We have to make the Havdalah like this. Okay, good. Now, if a person is sick or a person is not fasting, before they eat, they have to make Havdalah. Okay, take grape juice. I'm assuming grape juice would be the safest thing, and you make Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Borei Peri HaGefen. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol Uben Or Lechosher Uben Yitzhak Lahamim. Baruch Atah Hashem Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol. You drink up, that's it, right? And then you could eat whatever is needed. If a person wants to drink water, just water, that's fine. You don't need to make Havdalah. If a person is not feeling well and they just want to drink water, for that they don't need Havdalah. But otherwise, if they want to eat something, so on and so forth, they should make Havdalah. And they could even be motzi. Let's say a wife wants to eat, and her husband comes home, and she's about to make Havdalah, she could have kavanah for him to be yotzeh.
Sunday night.
I thought ladies aren't supposed to drink the.
What, because they're going to grow a mustache?
No, I really heard they're not supposed to have it.
What are you talking
It's
about?
really bad.
It's a mitzvah d'oraita, of
For
course.
ladies to drink the.
To make Havdalah. Of course.
Borei Peri HaGefen.
What?
So we say
it's
Borei
a
Peri
chidush?
HaGefen, and then that's paragraph, right?
Right, that's the main part. That's the Havdalah.
Wait, so why should we be
it's
Yotzei?
Oh, you
Our
missed that
husband?
shiur?
The ladies, we didn't discuss them after Shabbos.
We didn't do
So
that.
wait, so if nursing and pregnant women are gonna try to, but then
Try
they're
to
gonna
start.
eat.
And if, let's say Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning, they want to eat. So take a cup of grape juice,
So
smoke.
you should say Adal then.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's just.
Unless I'm seeing something new.
Wait,
Yes.
I'm just
Really?
trying to figure it out.
We didn't do that.
So you already said the Borei Meoreh Ha'esh, so you don't say that part.
That was last night.
You say
All you do is
You
Borei
just
Peri
say-
HaGefen and
That last
Hamavdil.
paragraph.
These two barachot. The first baracha is Borei Peri HaGefen. The last baracha is Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hamavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol Uben Or Lechosher Uben Yitzhak Lahamim ובין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה ברוך אתה השם המבדיל בין קודש לחול. I have to say it because I said it one time. Say Baruch HaMavdil, and they thought without name of Hashem just say Baruch HaMavdil, you're good. That's why you have to make sure. Say the whole beracha, the whole last beracha. That's it, and then drink up. No shejum, l'chaim.
Do you say that on Sunday before you want to break your fast?
Yes. This is how you cannot eat without havdalah. One cannot eat without havdalah. We have to make havdalah first. That's throughout the year as well. Like a person didn't make havdalah. Baruch Hashem should be good things. Like they didn't make havdalah Mosei Shabbat. Then Sunday you wanna You have to make Havdalah first.
So on a regular week, should women have?
No, one person should drink. One person. The kids want to drink, to show their love for the mitzvah. That's fine. There's no chiyuv for anyone to drink it. Just a person making Havdalah. But let's say a person's husband is not home. What are they gonna do? Not make Havdalah? Of course, not make Havdalah. It's a question. It's a mitzvah from the Torah. So as we said, for water, if someone wants to drink just to drink water, for that there is no need to make Havdalah.
You have to sit on the pregnant woman and you have to still sit on the floor and all that?
No, if it's very hard for pregnant women, it's very hard. Or zaken, a person is elderly, they have back problems, issues, they don't have to sit on the floor at all. You could sit on something a little bit lower.
Is it only till Chatzot that you sit on the floor?
Yes, that is correct. Chatzot is like 1 o'clock, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if a person, that's up to them. Everyone should sit down on the floor or something low. And again, if someone who is a chole, who can't do it, who's sick, who's not feeling well, and for sure, I don't think pregnant women will have an easy time sitting on the floor. They could sit on a chair. Okay, good.
What if I know it's silly, but I have to take a CE course on Sunday?
A what course?
A continuing education
Ah,
class.
okay.
I could sit on the chairs, or what do I have to do?
Yeah, what are you going to sit on the floor? No, for sure.
When they drive the car, they also sit on
Yeah, could you imagine in the Israeli buses they make room for everyone to sit on the floor? Anyhow, they say it's better for a person not to do any outings on Tisha B'Av, not to go out on Tisha B'Av because it's not.
What
it's
if
not
you
the-
have to go?
Yeah, if you have to, you have to. Of
What
course.
about sleeping? Are you not supposed to sleep with a pillow? Or?
They say they should make changes. A person should make changes. If you usually use 2 pillows, use 1 pillow. If you use 1 pillow, don't use the pillow. Some people will put a rock under the head. So, some people sleep on the floor. Just make some changes. But if a person is sick, a person is very hard for them. These are things that it's not. The main thing is to do teshuvah. Really, that's what the fast is. Okay, good. Baruch Hashem. So the fast is the fast. I don't think we need to. The best thing to do is to try to. If a person could fast, should fast. If a person can't fast, again, a person shouldn't indulge themselves in eating ice cream, this and that, and whatnot, unless they have a craving. Then you have to. What are you gonna do? And also there's things that Chachamim say a person shouldn't have heseh hadat. That means his mind shouldn't go off onto take his mind off of mourning. We should be thinking of the mourning and the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash as much as we can. Sometimes the kids won't allow it. They want to do this, they want to do that. It would be kind of hard. Usually I remember when we were in summer camp, the kids were in the lower bunks. They were 6, 7, 8. They couldn't. So for them they would show videos about Eretz Israel, this, that. So they should be busy. Otherwise, the counselors, they didn't have the strength to do sports with them, and they were all stuck. Now, Motzei Ta'anit, right? We pray Arvit regular, and there is nothing to do. All we have to do is we have to make Havdalah before we eat. Okay? Now, when can we eat meat? For us Sephardim, this year, already Sunday night, a person could go ahead and eat meat. Ashkenazim are machmir until the next morning, but as far as this for us is mutar already. If one wants to after a fast eat meat, I don't know, then they could. But laundry, shower, shaving, haircut, all of that Sunday night is allowed. Okay. Music, yeah, also. Rav Gidon says music is allowed.
What kind of Havdalah did they say?
Just the same
Same
time
thing.
I told you. Borei Peri Gefen and I have the whole beracha, right? That's it. They come home, grape juice or wine, their preference. Borei Peri Gefen, that's it. We could even say Shechianu or something on Sunday night.
We can, if you're opening your fast, you could eat meat. Did you say that? Did
Yeah,
you-
Sephardim, we could. In Baghdad,
No, I mean if
Baghdad,
you're doing it early.
Oh no, on the thing, look, if a person is a choleh that feels like fish or cheese is not gonna cut it, then.
But if you just try not to eat.
Yeah, right. We're talking about someone who's sick. As I was saying, in Baghdad, they would eat on a regular year. They would eat meat after a fast. But that wasn't the custom in many places. So, all right. So much for halachot of muktzeh. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should not have to fast.